live and direct from anywhere in the world. It's The Kelley Show with Dr. Kelley Mondesire.
Hello and welcome to The Kelley Show and happy January. I am actually talking to you right now from Catania, Sicily. And believe it or not, this is really what the room looks like. I scored big. If anyone gets to Catania, talk to me first. I will hook you up with this amazing hotel. It is spectacular and it's just a score. It's divine. But anyway, I digress. If you have been watching the shorts, and hopefully you've subscribed to the channel and been watching the shorts, you will know that all this month, it's the month about staying fit, especially if you're over 40. And the friends that I have invited to come to the table and talk to me about what they're doing to stay fit and why it's so important for all of us to stick to our guns and to get into some sort of routine, because the healthier we are, the better we can do all those wonderful activities we like to do with our friends, our family, our children, our grandchildren, or go on worldwide adventures like moi. So to kick it off, I called up a really good friend of mine, Jill Morley, who is a retired Golden Glove boxer. And way back in the day, Jill and I used to spar in the Muay Thai ring. And I asked Jill what it was like to be over 50, a retired Golden Glove boxer, and what life was like after the ring and how she manages to stay in such good shape. So we're going to take it to tape to get a little bit about what Jill had to share with me and all of you. Let's roll it to tape.
They give me $1 million baby girl love. I'm unstoppable like hurricanes. Check the way I step up in the rain. Now, who gon' stop me now? You gon' stop me how? I'm on my A game, baby. You can throw the talent. When I hit him with that 1-2 last straw, your glass jaw gets shattered. I'm speeding past y'all.
What do you think is it inside you that makes you want to do it?
I don't know if I want to go to that scary place.
This whole boxing thing is kicking your ass.
It is.
I mean, why is it so important to you?
You've got to find what it is that's going to bring you to that peace. You got to find a peace. Think about what brings you there, and then bring that into the ring.
I'm a maverick, the last chick standing.
Jill Morley, my hero, Golden Glove, trainer, fighter, and one who fights like a girl. Welcome to The Kelley Show, and thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks for having me.
All righty. So, Jill, tell everybody, where are you in the world right now, presently?
Right now, I live in LA, but I lived in New York for 20 years and still consider myself a New Yorker.
Well, I know. That's where we met. We actually met at Crew Phil Nurse's gym years and years ago, long time ago. But I pursued Muay Thai and you pursued boxing. So, fight like a girl, when somebody says, oh, you fight like a girl, it's either a compliment or, or we say you wish. So let's go back. What made you, now we all have reasons for going into the ring. We all have reasons to fight. What was your impetus in going into boxing specifically? Do tell.
Well, I think a lot of us, it comes from an unconscious place, this drive to do something. Like, we're physical people, right? And we have a fighter in us. And I've fought in other ways in my life, but I always thought, I bet I can be good at this. That's what I used to think. And I wanted to do it before I got too old to even try it, because I've been able to do, in life, I've been fortunate. Not fortunate, but I've done everything I wanted to do. Whether it's successful or not successful, at least I've done it. you know. And so that's what drove me, is just a feeling, you know, that I wanted to push myself physically to the limit. And before that, I was doing Taekwondo, which was not satisfying, because when I would spar, I'd start punching, and I would light up the girls, you know, and they made me not punch. They said, "You only kick," and I got little legs, and I'm like, I want to punch. So that's when I said, you know what, I'm going to take up boxing. But actually, what happened was, when I met my husband Gary, he's the one who brought me to Crew Phil Nurse's the Watt, and I was doing Muay Thai for a little while. But that's where I met Kimberly and Susan, who were boxing, and that's when I thought, you know, that's really what I want to do.
I remember the two of them, Kimberly and Susan, and they both did Muay Thai, but then pursued boxing. So please do tell our viewers about your Golden Gloves and your life in the ring.
Well, I mean, at first I was horrible. I mean, part of it was I would have panic attacks in the ring, and it just basically came from past abuse was getting like triggered. And so I'd go to this place, and it wasn't the person in front of me anymore. It was like my abuser, right? And then it took a while, and it took a certain kind of training. I needed to slow down, and I needed to work with people who are going to be a little more nurturing. And that's why, as a coach, I tend to be more nurturing. And after that, then I really learned how to box and fight. And then when I moved to LA, I met this guy, Richard Salgado, and he taught me a really cool style, like an Archie Moore, James Toney kind of thing. And then once I started doing that, I started winning all my fights. It was really fun, because a lot of people don't use this style because it's amateur boxing. But I fought, actually, at one point, I fought the #1 woman in the world, the Pan Am Games champion, who was 19 years old. And I had lied about my age. I was 42. But it was only my second fight. So I lost that fight, and it was really upsetting, because I thought I had a shot. I mean, you know, we always do when we're fighting, you know, you always think you have a shot. But after that, I just did it more for fun. And then like I said, I started winning my fights. And then in 2015, there's the National Golden Gloves. And I had a friend who was going to fight in it too. And I did it. And I fought, and it was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I won. And that was my last fight. Yeah.
And how old were you, if you don't mind telling the audience?
I was 49.
God bless. So you see, folks, look at Jill. And we have a short clip video of you actually fighting in the ring. Whoa, look at you.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
The Masters 106. Fighting out of the unanimous decision, fighting out of the blue corner.
All right. Oh, that's great. Where was that fight, and what weight division, and who was your opponent?
The fight was in Fort Lauderdale. It was part of the National Golden Gloves. I fought at 106, which I don't think I can get to now. And it was against Angela. I forget her name right now, but I'll remember it. But she's very good, and she wound up winning it the following year.
Is a sensational photo. Now let's leave this up for a little bit longer, Gareth, because I want to talk about a few things here. First of all, look at your physique. Okay, stellar fighter physique. 2, did you knock her with a left hook? And,
yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about this moment, because this is great. This is a great shot.
It is a great shot. I'm really glad we have it. That woman, her name is Dina, and I fought her, I think that was my 3rd fight. And I was using, I could see I have an open stance. My right hand's a little low. As you could see, I fight with, it's called a cross guard, or a Philly shell, you know, which most people don't use. And I guess I just got her with a really good hook. And at that point too, like I noticed I was very strong and am very strong for my size and for my age. So I would not, I would really, I had some power in my hands.
Good.
I was fortunate. Yeah, I don't think I have that strength so much anymore because as we age, but that's okay. I'm not doing this anymore. So
It's all good. It's all good. I have a question for you before we talk about your film, because this is something I dealt with. Now I'm a little bit older than you. At the time of this recording, I'll be just shy of 64, and it was a little bit of an identity crisis for me coming out of the ring and then just training when I did. And how do you, well, you're still in the game because you're training, but how did you transition from being in the ring as a fighter and then taking that bow and say, okay, that's my last fight, walking away from it?
That's a really good question. I think we don't pay enough attention to that. I've also watched some of the women I coach like walk away from it. And I think it's always painful, because you're used to being in control and you're constantly fit and, having a major adrenaline rush. But I mean, for me, I just felt like I don't need this anymore. I don't need to do it. My drive to beat people up, I didn't have that anymore. Like I would be sparring with people and I'd rather help them than try to hurt them. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather be like, you know what, you shouldn't keep your hand up. So that's how I just kind of went into more training. And now I don't even train, like a lot of the women I used to train to fight aren't fighting as much anymore. So I'm kind of moving my inner fight into, filmmaking, screenwriting, and, trying to get myself off the ground there. Because as you know, the training takes hours and hours out of your day. And so that was my focus, and now my focus is writing and storytelling. And, I think I'll have more of longevity with that. Okay, well, when I retired, I noticed that a lot of coaches in LA weren't taking the women seriously when they were training them. Very few were. And I knew people who, like when I'd start teaching them and showing them technique, they were very interested in learning it. So I started kind of coaching almost out of need. And so that's how I started. I mean, now there's many more coaches that take women seriously and great women coaches. So I don't feel like a need to get in there. But, and then also women who were in their 40s who wanted to fight, 40s and 50s, So I coached them and we would go to Las Vegas every year and fight. And usually my fighters, most of them would win. Or they put up a really good showing. And so, I think it was 2023 when we were doing that. And in 2023, I won Coach of the Year because I think the people who would come to the tournaments, because I've been coming for like 3 or 4 years, 5 years maybe. And I guess they really liked how I was with my boxers.
And so now I know you're a filmmaker, but what inspired you to make the film Fight Like a Girl? And by the way, tell everybody where they can find that film so they can watch it, because it's a great film, people.
Thank you. It's on YouTube and it's also on Amazon Prime. I don't know how much longer it'll be on Amazon Prime because, as you know, I was shooting it in the early 2000s. And it was also before boxing was in the Olympics. So like 2008, 2006, I think I started shooting. And then it came out in 2013, 14, then it started winning awards at festivals and stuff like that. But I think that I got really inspired by Kimberly and Susan. And also I was questioning myself, like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this? And that was the question that really drove me to make the film. And I had already made a film about women trying to get out of stripping. And I thought, I don't want to make a film again. It's expensive. You don't usually make money from a documentary. It's like really hard. But I was driven so much after I saw Kimberly and Susan. And later I met Maureen Shea. And I really wanted to tell their story because I had not seen another documentary about female boxing except for Shadow Boxers, which was about Lucia Riker. So I wanted to show other women and the New York scene, you know. And then, of course, I was documenting my own journey throughout, and I had no idea what would happen, you know, later on in the film.
So what did you get from doing the film reflectively for yourself?
It's done so much for me that, I mean, I've met so many wonderful women, amazing women. Also, I was learning to box while I was making the film. So I was doing two things at once, but coming from a place where I'm like having panic attacks and crying in the ring to winning the National Golden Gloves, it was a long journey. And after doing that, it's really, I believe I can do anything if I really work at it and really have faith. And that's what I would love people to take away from the film.
I think that's wonderful. You know, the first big fight I had was in the Capitol down in New York. And it's a big venue. I must be the only person that weighed in at 114, walked 4 blocks, got on the scale and weighed in at 116. And I and didn't drink or eat a thing for the two blocks, but they reweighed me. I weighed in at 114 and a half, but you know, the anxiety, the pressure of coming into weight, first of all, but I was so nervous warming up in the back with Phil Nurse that when he just moved towards me, I hit him in the face with a left. He said, "Kelley, please save it," you know, but I'll share this. When I walked into, you know, the arena, so to speak, or the Capitol, and they play the music and this and that, and they announce your name. You know, there are only 2 times I felt like this in my life. One, walking down that aisle for the first time, and 2, getting married for the second time. And I have to say, it was terrifying. I felt like, well, everybody expects me to be here, so I better do this. I got to get in there. And when I got in there, I said, what the hell am I doing in here? There's a girl across the ring I never met in my life. She's like 8 inches taller than me, you know, and she's there to beat the crap out of me. So I better like do something fast and furious, because what am I going to do? I'm here. You know, I don't know about you, but that's how I felt. I was actually scared.
Yeah, no, right before the fight, after the weigh-in and before the fight is always the most anxiety producing. I mean, actually, before you weigh in is anxiety because you want to make sure you're at the weight, and it's not a weight you're normally at. I usually was walking around 112, you know, so I'd have to drop 6 to fight. Yeah, I remember like shaking before a fight in LA. I was fighting, like I was the only white girl there. It was all Mexican, you know. That wasn't why. It was just, you know, it was the girl was younger. This is when I was still lying about my age and fighting like younger people. But I remember just being so nervous. But I wound up winning that fight, and it's still hard every time though. It doesn't get easier, you know.
So what are you doing now that you are, how old are you now?
59.
59, God bless. And anybody out there that's 30, 40, 50, even 60 that says, ooh, I'm too old and blah, blah, blah. Look at what I have right here. This woman is amazing. What do you do to keep in shape now? Let's give some encouragement to the viewers out there, maybe women that are watching you and saying, oh my God, she's gorgeous. I can't believe, you know, she's done all this. She's a filmmaker. She looks stunning. What advice would you have for older 30, 40, 50, 60, but also share, what do you do to stay in shape now?
Well, I started lifting weights when I was 45 because I noticed that my power was less. You know, I was like, what's happening? And so I started lifting weights, and I've never stopped. I do it 2 or 3 times a week. I know a lot of people do Pilates. They find that helpful. I box once or twice a week. I run. I swim once a week. I recently picked up tennis again. So I used to play tennis. I played for my high school and college team, like you know, and then I taught tennis in New York City for a long time.
Oh, I
So
didn't know
picking,
that.
yeah, that was how I was like supplementing my writing income. And so yeah, so it's been fun to try to pick that up again, you know. So I try to do a little something every day, and if my body's a little tired, I listen to it. Maybe I'll just walk, you know, and I stretch. But I like to feel strong, you know. My friend was saying, like, God, how do you do it? I'm like, well, I travel a lot. And like when I go to New York, I want to be able to carry my suitcase up the stairs, you know, pull it out of the compartment from the plane. Like it's just a matter of function, and it is also of pride. You know, it's like people don't expect a small woman my size to be like lugging things around or, you know, stuff like that. So
I have to say, you're one of the few women that was smaller than myself. So let me ask you this, because I do have women that have little girls or young ladies at home. What would you tell a little girl that sees you as a hero, that says, I want to be like Jill, or a young girl that maybe has self-esteem issues or self-image issues? What would you tell them about boxing and why they might want to consider taking up boxing, either just to, you know, to work on bags with a partner, aerobically, whatever it is?
well, I would say any martial art that you are geared towards. Like some people are more geared toward jujitsu. You know, I am not. Some people are more geared for Muay Thai. So whatever it is, I would probably try everything or tell them to try everything. And then whatever spoke to them to try to stay with it, because it also teaches you discipline, you know. It teaches you to do something, and also teaches you that you can get better if you keep at it, which, you know, in today's society, it's kind of like, oh, if it doesn't happen right away, forget it, you know. So I think it really strengthens confidence. It's nice to feel strong and fit. And even just walking down the street, you're going to carry yourself in a way that people are probably not going to come up and try to, you know, rob you or attack you because you look like they don't want to mess with you.
Who's that handsome devil and that gorgeous girl?
That is my husband, Gary, who I was going to answer him. I'm very grateful for Gary for supporting me through all of this, through the boxing, for the screenwriting, and then just I'm a weirdo. So like, thank you for putting up with me.
Well, he's a great guy. I remember Gary from the New York days. But folks, I also want to let you know that we martial artists and boxers that are women, we do get dressed up. We do wear high heels. We love to do parties and black tie. It's not all shorts and sneakers and guts and grit. So Jill, I want to thank you very much once again for sharing your story here on the Kelley Show. And folks, if you would like to reach out to Jill, we have her contact information up here. And that's a great shot, Jill. That is like stellar.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Reach out to Jill. And if you want personal training, you want a film done, you want to hear more about her story, do reach out to her. I'm sure Jill would be most happy to respond to you. I'll tell you, I've got a lot of respect for Jill, and she is just sensational. She's fabulous. And go, Jill, you go. Inspiring, to say the least. But talk about inspiring. I then called up another really good friend of mine, Ellen Tyson. And Ellen is a professional bodybuilder, professional trainer. And I'm telling you, we only wish we looked like Ellen when we were 25. Now, Ellen is all about strength, bone mass, bone density, being fit from the inside out, and how being healthy on the inside actually shows on the outside. It's not just about looking good in a bikini, but it's about the joie de vivre. So let's go to tape and get a little bit about what Ellen shared with us, her take on health and fitness. Let's roll it. Ellen, welcome to the Kelley Show.
Thank you for having me. Hello.
Hiya, hiya. You look wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous as always.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. And Ellen Tyson and I met many years ago. We lived in the same building. And I saw this woman working out, and she was in incredible shape. And at the time, I couldn't walk one city block. Remember, Ellen?
I remember.
Yeah, and I couldn't lift my leg to tie my shoes or put my pants on. And you took pity on me. Not really.
But she was walking around pantless. I mean, I had to do something.
But you took pity on me and you started to train me. And you got me to a point where I could once again walk, lift my foot and leg up to put my pants on, and then do other things in life and start to enjoy life again. So thank you for that. And I wanted to share this personal story because this is true, folks. So Ellen, let's get to it. Where are you from originally, and where in the world are you now?
Originally, I was made in Korea. But I've been in this country since I was 6 years old. So yes, I have my green card and my citizenship. I am right now in New York City, where I've been living since 1987.
All right. So folks, Garrett's going to put up 2 photos right now of what Ellen looks like. Now, Ellen, please tell the audience, tell the viewers, how old are you right now?
I am 56 years old.
She's rock climbing. She's a personal trainer, a fitness guru and consultant, and we should all be ashamed of ourselves.
So when I started first working out seriously, I was 44 years old. And admittedly, I was doing it just so I can look good. You know, it was all for aesthetics. I was trying to I guess, look good in a bikini. You know, it was all for aesthetics. I worked out consistently, and something crazy happened, which is my depression went away. I've had, chemical depression my whole life, and since 1998, I was taking SSRIs. And even though I was taking medication, I had cyclical up and down episodes of depression. But at 44, when I started working out consistently, and that's the key, consistently, I have, knock wood, I have not had a depressive episode since. And at this age, I don't work out so I can look good in a bikini. I still do look good in a bikini, but I work out to keep my bones strong. My focus has shifted from the physical, from trying to look good in a bikini to being strong on the inside. And I mean inside, from the bones, from the muscles, from the tendons, ligaments, all that. I'm staying strong so I can live a healthy life and grow old gracefully. When you work out, you stay young. Your skin stays young. I don't need to take supplements and expensive creams. That's all from the outside, right? If you put on the $300 cream, you're not going to get better skin. But I promise you, if you sweat and you work out 3 to 4 times a week, you're going to stay young.
I always say there are 2 activities where I can clear my head, do my best non-thinking, and I feel so relaxed and refreshed at the same time. And that's when I work out on a heavy bag or when I'm on my motorcycle, because I'm so focused and I'm so in the moment. One is very physical, but the other one is very mental, and also physical in a sense. But particularly when I'm working out, I walk away calm. So how did you get into transcending from working out yourself to training other people? Do tell.
I started to train other people for money, really, because people kept asking me to train with them. And I ended up working out with my friends and training other people just because I love working out and I love my friends and I love hanging with them. So it was like a natural progression, right?
for women over the age of 40. And menopause and perimenopause is a period of time where we have hormonal shifts, hormonal changes. Bone density begins to drop, our estrogen levels fall, the turgor of our skin, folks, that's like when you do this and it doesn't snap back so much anymore. The turgor of the skin we lose the elasticity of the skin, muscle density starts to decline. Bone density is very important to keep up. Let's talk about that, because not only are you the expert in physical fitness for women over the age of 40, however, you and I have gone through those stages of life and we can speak from experience. So let's hear it from your mouth, please.
Yes, unfortunately. So as I said, when I was 44 and I was going through perimenopause, no one ever talked about perimenopause. Now, today, people are starting to talk about menopause and perimenopause and HRT. We had no idea what that was back then.
Right.
So, you know, as I reached menopause, oh my God, my body just, I could almost feel it slowing down. Like I went into slow motion and I had a oh crap moment of what's happening with myself. And I started gaining what's called visceral fat, which is the fat around your belly, which I have never in my life have I ever had a belly. You know, I've been pretty lean my whole life. Even when I gained weight, I never had belly fat. But after menopause, what happened was I got visceral fat and my metabolism slowed down. So I had a whole blood test. I was convinced that I had cancer or something was wrong with me because I was tired all the time and I couldn't get my metabolism up to speed. I felt my body slowing down. So I had a whole panel blood test and it showed, of course, low estrogen, very low testosterone. And that was kind of sort of a key factor for me. So I immediately got on HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy. So I'm taking oral progesterone, I'm taking a topical estrogen, and I take a topical testosterone. And that has really changed how I feel. But I also started working out harder, less cardio, more muscle building, especially with my suit. It is so crucial for menopausal women and premenopausal women to work with heavy resistance training because our bone density depends on resistance training. So you have to go heavy. Those 5-10 pounders, it's not going to do you any good. You have to challenge yourself and you have to go heavy in order to stress out your bones so it can rebuild. It's not common knowledge that bone density can absolutely be reversed with resistance training. Did you know that? Did you know that your bones can fill out and you can actually, fight hollowing out the bones or bone, I guess, what is it called? Brittleness.
Yes.
With resistance training.
Yes.
I thought that was common knowledge, but women didn't know. Women I trained had no idea.
It's funny you should say that. It isn't common knowledge. The lack of information, valid, scientifically tested information, let's stress that, out there about bone density, hormones, basic physical fitness. There's so many companies, and we'll use the term false information out there about health and wellness. And I think it's market driven. Everybody wants to sell you that magic pill. That life is easy. You can do it on your couch or in the comfort of your easy chair at home. That's not what it is. And I can attest to that because my bone density, and I'll share personally, is incredibly, my bones are incredibly strong for my age. And I attest it to all the martial arts I did for all the years. So when I do have a mishap, I've got, I've been told I'm built like a brick house, if you know. I always say it's the peasant blood, the peasant genes, but that has something to do with it as well. However, the misinformation, the lack of information out there about our bodies, our health, and how just simple things we can do. Resistance training, walking, using 2 heavy cans of tomatoes, even if that's all you can do.
Anything.
You can be strong and healthy well into your 90s. I see videos on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook of these women. They're in the 90s and they were gymnasts or whatever, and they're doing splits like you have no idea. It's incredible. What would you say to that person that's watching this, that needs that little bit of push, that self-confidence, and that just flame that lights their fire?
Well, I hate to be cliche, but it's never too late. And shift the focus to being strong and eating nutrient-dense food. So instead of saying, I have to lose 60 pounds, I have to be strong. I have to build my bones. I have to get my muscles in order. Then the weight is a byproduct. The weight coming off is a byproduct of being strong. Focus on strength and power and bone density. And I swear the weight will come off. It's not in to be skinny. It's in to be strong. It's in to be fit. And that doesn't mean having bulging muscles. I mean being strong on the inside, having good core strength. You don't have to be skinny. Like, the focus on women's body is just insane. And really, I mean, I look a certain way, but I can guarantee you, I don't work out to look a certain way anymore. I used to. I work out so I can be strong because I don't want to grow old and be frail.
Well, we have a photo to put up. Now, folks, because Ellen works out and she works out to be strong, there are side effects, if I may say, of working out and being strong. The side effects is a beautiful, strong body, being able to wear a fabulous dress, looking gorgeous from the inside out. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us today and proving that physical fitness, both on the inside and out, beauty on the inside and the out, it's worth the effort to put in the time and the work and the dedication, because my dear friend is living proof of all that. So folks, if you would like to reach out to Ellen, we have her contact information we're going to put up here, and there she is on Wall Street.
I just want to say one more thing, Kelley.
Yeah.
I find that many people see workouts as something you do when you have time. And that's the wrong mindset. You have to change your mindset. I am very busy in life and I have to work out. It's not something that you do when you have free time. It's something that you have to make time for, because if you don't take time for your wellness, you will be forced to take time out for your illness. 1,000%.
And I'll share with all of you, I had a problem, physical problem after COVID, and I could barely walk 1 city block in Manhattan. And I did ask Ellen for help. And Ellen took it upon herself to help me get some of the strength back that I needed to be able to walk like a normal person again, and to give me that oomph and that encouragement not to give up. And the message here is don't give up. If you've got an injury or you're a little bit older, like all of us are, well, not all of us watching, but you get the point. We have our injuries. We've got, aches and pains and this and this. Just work around it. Do what is best for you, what works for you, but most importantly, don't give up, don't stop. Now, finally, I called up a really good friend of mine, Mr. Rob Rogan, who runs Square Circle Muay Thai gym in New York City. And Muay Thai, as many of you know, I'm retired from the ring. I asked Rob to share what it is to take up martial arts, particularly Muay Thai, when you're a bit older, and why it's never too late to take up Muay Thai kickboxing. Let's see what Rob had to tell us. Let's roll it to tape. And so now I have a little bit of an idea of what Muay Thai kickboxing really looks like. So to tell us all about it today, my dear friend, crew, Rob Rogan from New York City, owner of Square Circle, New York, is here to tell us all about it. Rob, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, Rob. Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate the time. And tell us, what exactly is Muay Thai? What does the term crew mean? And take it away.
Great. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And we're here to talk about Muay Thai. So what is Muay Thai? So this is a martial art it's actually the national sport, the national martial art of Thailand. And basically it is a series of stand-up strikes that involve, they call it the 8 weapons. So you have your punches, your kicks, knees, and elbows. Part of the stand-up combat technical skills that they include are also clinching. So clinching would be, general term would just be neck wrestling. Now from that part is basically trying to control your partner or your opponent with a series of hold positions in standing position while throwing elbows, knees, and trips and sweeps.
And how does it work? Does it work on points or a knockout? Do tell. What's the difference between the judging system between boxing and Muay Thai?
It's fairly similar in most regards. There is a 10-point must system for each round, where the winner of the round would garner 10 points, whereas the person that is on the losing end would get 9 points. So it's pretty similar. Other than with boxing, I believe it's about like maybe 8, 10, 12 rounds, depending on the level of experience of the pro boxers or amateur boxers. Whereas for Muay Thai, it's basically 3 rounds, or if it's going to be, traditionally it'd be 5. And typically that would be for a title fight.
Wow. And during the Muay Thai fights, there is music playing, and it's Thai style music. And as the rounds progress, the music becomes louder and faster. Would you please explain to our viewers why that music is played during a fight?
Sure thing. So traditionally they would have the music, the traditional music, the Thai music in the background, which would help set cadence and rhythm. And just as you had mentioned, Kelley, the way that the music and the tempo is played is, it's about like from round 1 to round 5. So you have like a slower rhythm. I mean, not slow as in it's like crawling, but it's more along the lines of, it's just like a slower tempo when each round it starts to pick up faster and faster. Now, there are a lot of reasons why they have this. One of the the traditional old reasons is it's based on the betting game. So in the beginning, the first couple rounds, the fighters feel each other out. The bettors can get their information set, and then basically set their bets while the music is playing, while the fighters are trying to make contact, and then it usually picks up around 3, 4, and 5, and then that's when the real skills start to show up. They're basically feeling each other out in the first 2 or 3 rounds. The music is a little bit slower, then the music picks up, and then fighters actually implement their strategies.
You know, it's interesting. When I was at the fights in Bangkok some years ago, the bookie taking the bets was this little old lady that looks like she was 80 years old or so. And it was very, very interesting to see that in action. That's something I never got to see here in the States at any of the fights. So I don't think it's legal to do it here, but
No. Yeah.
I didn't think so. Well, anyway, we're going to move along. So Crew Rob, please tell us, what does crew mean? And also, what is the Y crew, and why do we do the Y crew before a fight?
So crew in Thai, just basically, it's just this. It's a basic title, a title of respect, and it just means teacher, coach. It's a sign of reverence and respect that you give to your teacher, your head coach that's teaching you at whatever school that you're at, or gym. But again, it's like basic teachers in elementary and secondary schools in Thailand, that they're also called crew, men and women. So again, it's just a title of respect for your teacher, and then most synonymously, it's associated with Muay Thai. Even here in the United States, the same thing. You want to show respect to the head trainers, your trainer that teaches you. It is a sign of respect, and that's what it means. Now, the white crew or the white crew Ramoy. So white crew would be the short version of it. The Ramoy, the part that's the actual dance. So there's usually two parts to this. So the white crew is basically, this is the sign of respect to your teacher and the gym. And then the Ramoy, that's the actual the dance part of the actual you dance before the fight. You'll see the fighters circle the ring. They'll go around the ring and then touch each of the corners, and then they're looking for the center part where they're going to basically kneel down. Hands are up to their head, and then they basically kind of like bow down to the ground with the gloves actually preventing them from touching their head to the ground. And a lot of people don't like here in the West, when they don't do it properly, they touch their head to the ground. It's not a good thing. So that's just something that people should pay attention to. So it's the gloves there that actually stops that. So then they do that 3 times is typical, and then from there, then they go into their. It's more like the ritualistic dance part. So that's like going to all the 4 corners, and then there's like a series of movements, like very, very elegant, very, very flowing movements. And generally speaking, it's a signature of each gym, each school, and it does a number of things. So one, it helps the fighter loosen up. It helps them stretch what they need to do. It helps them think about all the reasons why they're there, and it helps them calm down right before the fight.
I trained with Crew Rob my last years in New York City, and he is a stellar trainer. A wonderful mentor, and also, Rob, would you mind very much telling the folks how old you are?
So I'm going to be, well, right now I'm 54. In December, I will be 55.
And we're going to go to a photo of you back in the day.
Okay.
What made you start Muay Thai? How did you find out about Muay Thai? What was the attraction, and what possessed you? I could say the same question to myself, but what possessed you to go into the ring and fight? Do tell.
So so here's the funny thing. Like I wasn't even actively seeking it out. I was actively trying to do some fitness at a local gym, and like strength training, this and that, and basically what I heard in the next studio beside me was the thwack of the pads like this. Oh hey! And I hear that at the end, and I'm just like, whoa, what's going on? Meanwhile, I'm like trying to lift weights. I'm like spotting for another guy. I'm not paying attention like this, and he's like, oh, you got to spot me, man. So I'm like, oh yeah, all right. So we finish up, and I still hear the oh hey. So I go over to the corner, I look, and I'm like, what is going on here? And I see my future trainer, his name's Crew Edge Brown, and he's holding pads for one of his fighters. And this guy was kicking the pads so hard that the pads, like the kicking shield, the kick pads, they were bending. So there's always a little thing they say, if the pads ain't bending, then you're pretending. It's kind of funny, right? But anyway, see, the guy was kicking the pads so hard and like, breaking the contour of the pad at the inside of impact. And I was looking at that, I was like, what? I want to do that. So, and that's how I got into it. I literally just by accident, but just by sheer coincidence.
What was this event? I see the medals around your necks, and also let's give credit to the young lady who is standing next to you. What was going on here?
Sure, no problem. So one of my teammates, the young lady that's standing next to me, her name is Alex Stockman, and she was one of my teammates back in New York, and I started doing Muay Thai, I think 1995, 97. This photo is, I think, 2001, and we both had made the USA team to represent the United States at the Worlds in Vienna, Austria. And so both of us were doing Muay Thai, representing the United States, different weight categories, obviously different genders, right? So, I got a bronze medal in my division, and she got a silver medal. So
wonderful.
And that was pretty fantastic. It was awesome. It was a good feeling.
I have to say, my last fight, I was 44. And I came in second in the nationals in my weight class, and I was asked to be on Team USA, but I said no. I'm done. Let the young ones have their day. But let's go to the next photo, Gareth. Now this is you on the left in the ring.
Yes.
Can you tell us, like, do you remember who the opponent was and where the fight was?
I don't remember. I think I do. I think his name, he's probably a doctor now, because he had left his name is Colin Wozencraft, I do believe. This is my first title fight I had in Virginia.
Wow. Oh, okay.
So first time I had a title, I got an opportunity for a title fight. Unfortunately, I did not win.
It's okay.
I did very well in the first 2 rounds, but then I kind of gassed out, and he picked up the pace in the last 3 and basically won.
You are kicking each other in the ribs and the shins. There's elbows involved. This is not for the faint of heart. This is pretty brutal, but it's a lot of fun. And there's dignity in getting into that ring, because what you have to do, the training you have to undergo to get into that ring, there's dignity and there's honor and there's respect for your opponent. And there's respect by the audience that gathers there, because usually they know the sport, and it's always a great experience to go watch the fights. What made you then go into coaching? And we have something to put up here. This is you with a mutual buddy of ours, Jan. This is great. This is just before a fight he had recently, yes?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So tell us, what made you go into coaching and start your own gym?
So it's funny about that, like the having the ability to compete, and then having the knowledge of the technical aspects, going through all the training regimen, and then going to all the classes and doing all this, made me think that maybe I could help teach the classes. I wasn't thinking of actually teaching. I just thought, maybe I can help because I know a little bit, right? And then a little by little, I helped out with some of the classes. Then I started teaching. Then I started teaching at different gyms. I wanted to stay connected. So how would I stay connected? Well, I moved right into teaching at other gyms, teaching other places, and then from there, I made my transformation into teaching, and then to be a coach. And then I started thinking, I wonder if I could actually do this for a living. Just so that people understand and know, my education is, I have a dual MBA in finance and accounting. So I was working in investment banking. This is what I did. I loved doing that, but I also loved my passion of Muay Thai, being connected and knowing this. Then I thought, my wife, Crew Beatrice, so she's the my other partner as far as our gym is concerned. We had laid down the groundwork to just see, hey, why don't we take our skill set, right, our financial skill set, and just say, if we want to start a business, how are we going to do this? Let's set up a 5-year plan. This is X amount of money that we're going to put toward it. How are we going to ramp up the business, so on and so forth. And we did that in 2012. And here we are now, almost, in end of 2025 into 2026.
And it's interesting because I met your wife, Beatrice, Crew B, in a completely different setting. And just in conversation, we started talking about Muay Thai, and then realized we basically neighbors living down the street, and she had this gym, and it was crazy. Like, what a small world. And we know all the same people and the same stories, more or less. And I joined your gym and was very happy there until, I moved down here to South Carolina. Yes. And speaking of which, that beautiful, tall, blonde woman behind Crew Rob is, ta-da, do tell.
Exactly. And she's been very instrumental with the gym, keeping, she's basically the glue that keeps everything together. So she's more as a figurehead in the sense that her career is in banking, but she still has a lot of the responsibilities as far as helping me with the fighters on fight day, fight week, all that sort of stuff. So incidentally, here's an interesting piece of information. So Crew B was one of the first crews from Master Toddy in the Northeast back, I think it was 2010. So she was the first crew that he certified as a female in the Northeast, and the second one overall.
We have a video to put up of you doing some training. You had posted this on Instagram, and I scoffed it.
Because I'd rather play Mortal Kombat anyway. Hey, I'm all about my Johnny Cage. If you're not bringing tacos, I suggest you start to walk away. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. I can tell you kinda got uncomfortable, so let me break it down for you. Don't call me.
And I want to add that, if you want to train in Muay Thai, you don't have to get out there and beat the crap out of one another. It's safety first. You wear shin guards, you wear gloves. It's about safety first, learning the skill sets, and then take it where you want it to go. And as far as you have comfort in the sport.
Do as much as you can. Do only what you can. Stop when you have to stop, and raise your hand if you have a question. And
Perfect.
That's pretty much it, right? Your whatever gym that you're at, they should have the coaches that are well versed enough to read the room, look at the client base, see the people that need help, and to attend to them. And this is how you find yourself in a good gym.
Thank you for sharing that. Folks, you hear it, you see it, sign up, register. It's January. It's time to get off your butts. It's time to renew energy. Don't just say you're going to do it. Go out and try. And many gyms across the United States, they do give a free first class or a free first week. They give you an opportunity to feel the gym out, to feel the sport out, see how it goes. And folks, if you would like to get in touch with Crew Rob and see what Muay Thai is all about, he is right there in New York City. We've got his contact information up here. If you're interested in seeing a Muay Thai fight, I'm sure Crew Rob would be happy to give you that information. Go down, see one of his fighters. And remember, when you see something that's impressive during a fight, you're going to say, "Oi!" Okay, so you know what that's about. So, Rob, thank you very, very much for joining me here. I'm sick and tired of people saying, what do you do? Mai Tai? Mai Tai? No, that's a cocktail. It's Muay Thai, for God's sake. And before I sign off, I want to say, Sawadee Ka. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And say hi to B for me and Monsieur Bonnie, their golden retriever, who has how many likes did he just get?
Oh, he's got like 17,000 followers. It's crazy.
Jesus,
Yeah.
his little golden retriever puppy. So look for Barney also on social media. So Rob, thank you very, very much. And hopefully I'll see you soon. You're always welcome down here in South Carolina, you and me.
Thank you.
I have to tell you folks, Muay Thai forever. I'd use that hashtag Muay Thai forever. I might not be able to hit with my right arm or kick with my right leg or, injury here, injury there. But I'll tell you, even if I shadow box, I do the best I can. And it's never too late to try martial arts. Just be safe, know your limitations, and know that you'll be in the best physical shape of your life, no matter what age you are. So I really hope none of you out there have given up on your New Year's resolutions to stay fit or go to the gym or get healthier. But whatever it is that you decide you want to do, be joyous. Get up every day, go for a walk, do a push-up, do half a push-up, do a sit-up, do a half a sit-up, whatever it is, do a few squats, wash the dishes, go, climb a flight of stairs, whatever it is. Do something, get moving, and have a smile on your face when you do it, and be joyous, because if you're not in a wheelchair, you're lucky. You've got two legs to walk on, and I know some stellar athletes only have one leg, and by golly, they're putting everybody to shame out there. Stellar athletes. If you are in a wheelchair, find out what you can do about upper body strength or chair yoga, whatever it is, whatever your limitations are. Don't look at them as roadblocks to good health. Use those obstacles as opportunities to be as fit and healthy as you can, to live every day at your best. So I like to say ciao for now, since I am in Italy. And stay tuned for next month's shorts when I go through my journey to Italy to discover my Italian ancestry and some of the stories and some of the places I've visited on my journey to discover where I come from, why I tick the way I do, and why I'm fearless and I'm adaptable to many situations. And by the way, being fearless and adaptable is all about staying fit and healthy when you're over 40 years old. And so, you know the drill. You're going to subscribe today to the show. You're going to stay tuned. You're going to watch the shorts, and you're going to look for next month's show, which is going to air the last Tuesday of February, 11 a.m. Eastern, we're still in Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So be on the lookout, stay tuned, and Kirsty, take it away.